to try and find these flanks for LNG, because the biggest issue that I'm seeing is, right, like, Renekton was coming off an angle, same with LeBlanc, same with this, well, Seth, Viego, honestly, everyone on LNG, but you're playing up against the Kennen. So if you end up having Nuguri just sit on top of LWX for a lot of these fights, and LWX is at his 3-item point, I think this is actually going to be really difficult for LNG to try and operate. They need to be working off of the LeBlanc, the Ashe, find these early picks, find these early skirmishes with the Renekton, and start to snowball the game, because if you end up letting this go late, this Nuguri Kennen and this LWX Aphelios are going to be really difficult to deal with.
Which is so funny when we talked about how FPX play the early game. They're the ones that like accelerating speed, pushing the tempo to the max, and then building off the snowball themselves. So it does feel like if FPX get any semblance of that early game in game one, it'll already be a rough start here for LNG. But Dagda on the other side, let's not forget that LNG have made it this far for a reason. They beat Suning 3-2. They took down Top Esports the round after 3-1. They went up against the Spring and MSI champions in Royal Never Give Up, and they smacked them, punished them for another 3-1 victory. LNG, the miracle run is still going, and now that they're in the top 4, it is the Phoenix that stands in their way. Can they continue against FPX, or is this a beast that is just too large and in charge? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the start of our double elimination as LNG versus FPX starts off its series.
And LNG, you said it there, they have a mountain to climb, but it starts off in game number 1, and it starts off with them getting off on the right foot. I want to see this early aggression. I thought it'd be more through this top side, but with that Kennen locked in, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Ale to have priority and shift across to help out his jungler. So I think LNG going to be looking for this early plays in the bottom half of the map, using the fact that Light and Iwandi have a ton of pressure, unlocking Iwandi in this bottom lane, who has gone the unsealed spell book as well. So this guy has access to teleport, he has access to a lot of these ghosts, has access to start having these big impacts in that roaming style, rather than being in the lane.
Important as well, because Iwandi's been a really solid player for LNG. Just going to spot out a ward here with the Winter's Bite to counter, and LWX and Chris beef up. It's going to be lane starts here with junglers getting no semblance of a leash. Tien, Tarzan, both bottom side Dagda, they'll be pathing towards top.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here is that you're going to end up seeing, hey, look, you've got Icon who has full pressure in that mid lane. Nuguri will have pressure in that top side, should be able to push that lane out. So in theory, Tien should just have more people on that top side. So I'll be keeping my eyes on Tarzan's clear to see if maybe he mixes it up as actually, I wonder not taking the best of trades on this bottom side as LWX answers him back.
Yeah, some good little trades coming through from Crisp and LWX. It's the Winter's Bite that's doing the hard yards. Iwandi just has to pop a pop, but he's set. At the end of the day, the healing good enough. And Dagda, I also want to point out that coming into this series, obviously expectations once again were towards the top-seeded team. FPX first in the regular season against LNG. It doesn't have the same weight anymore, considering that they beat the MSI champs in RNG, but still, this is a very different beast, a consistent split from FPX. And we know that once the tempo starts in these games, that's when teams have to fear slowing them down, finding a window back in. It's just something that we keep need to reminding our audience, considering that LNG, they're the ones with this comp you already talked about, need to find the picks, but importantly as well, need to get the ball rolling in game 1.
Yeah, and my biggest worry is that, like, ooh, Ally actually getting a really good trade against Nuguri. The biggest issue that I have for LNG is that, like, a lot of their weaknesses are kind of playing into FPX strengths, right? We've seen them struggle in skirmishes in game 1 against Top, game 3 against RNG, and we might actually get one of these early skirmishes here to prove my point.
That was a hawk shot from Light, spotting out that Krugs was still there. Maybe that's a bit of a ruse as Tarzan's towards the top side and the wave is pushing. Dagda, Tien's being patient for this, but I'm not sure with Ale having a full Fury bar.
Yeah, I mean, Iwandi and Light now have found out that, hey, look, bottom scuttle going to go the way of Tarzan as well. So there has to be some sort of shenanigans going on this top side. So Ale playing it pretty safe, staying towards the top side of the map. And unfortunately, this means Tarzan's actually going to be a little, or sorry, not Tarzan. Tien's going to be a little bit behind as Iwandi just moving across to help Icon here in the mid lane.
Double scuttle. Big start here for Tarzan, but now the dive starts onto DOINB. We saw this coming. He flashes out of the way. The MVP just gets Iwandi, but with the haymaker, he sticks around. It counts as a solo kill. You try and dive super carry DOINB. He dive you.
That's the 12th solo kill now, and it's not done. Hysterics.
Icon has flash. He has distortion away there as well. The Winter's Bite connects. He doesn't pay the respect. The Crescent Strike not available, and FPX on the board first in a very devastating way.
That was so well played by DOINB. That managing to get the kill for himself, get the wave for himself, make sure he's nice and situated, and now coming back to lanes with the Merc Threads makes this so much harder for Icon to try and punish this Aurelia pick. Really well done by the FPX mid laner.
It's just insane that 3 people tried to dive him. We're only just into this series, and DOINB has another one for the highlight reel. That's how well he's playing this split, and we'll watch it again.
It was the mental warfare, you know, but look, that's done. Hits both Iwandi and Icon. Manages to get that. Then you get the double turret shot coming through from Iwandi. And yes, Set can tank up a lot of this damage, but it's already started to ramp up, and it just takes him down too quickly, especially with Tien there to help him out.
Big first kill. You already mentioned the Merc Treads, a really nice piece of itemization here, Dagda. And the Aurelia on the board first, which is going to make laning phase a little bit more fun to watch. We talked about FPX getting out of it and making themselves known, but the Flawless Duet onto Icon again. Chris with the flash in. Icon in trouble. The Winter's Bite sets up for the concussive blows. Chris picks up the kill. And my God, this is a brilliant start.
And like waves on the shore, we're seeing FPX's playstyle. You slowly creep in your wave, and then you move elsewhere.
He got 6. He got 6. Iwandi just walked into a 6 Aurelia. Chris tanks it up, but DOINB still diving. Will he die is the next question, as Tarzan can't catch up. What the heck, Dagda? DOINB is on a league of his own as Tien protects him to get out.
You gave FPX that little second, and they've run away with this. Chris permanently in this mid lane to make sure that they are able to get those plays. Now Tarzan looking for the play on Tien, but he's just gonna have to back away.
I don't know how the series has only begun. It's 3-0, and now we have a 2-0 Aurelia, and we have to remember what we said as a win con. LNG in the early game, and that's why Iwandi with a TP from the spellbook is trying to make it happen. Level 6 for LWX, but 1v2. He's not at a point just yet. Onto Light, he's building up shurikens, but the ulti is going to be blocked anyway, or not even fly out. LNG with their first kill of the game.
That was a little bit close for comfort, to be honest. I saw that Moonlight Vigil go down, and I was like trying to tick around the damage on my head. Ale, though, hiding in the bush for Nuggery. I don't get to talk, Hysterics. They just want to fight.
They really do. Great time to be a play-by-play caster because LNG are all moving topside. Dominus is about to expire, though, and Nuggery has the Slicing Maelstrom, so I don't know how confident LNG feel.
Really smart call here from Nuggery. Just reading the map well is like, hang on, there's too many members of LNG missing. I need to back away. And this is what we're talking about with FPX, right? This very quick movement on the map, Crisp going mid, unlocking DOINB, and now DOINB's 2-0 and can now start to push in waves and start to move himself.
Doing so much damage too with the pickaxe. Flawless Duet doesn't connect, but Tien is now here with the ultimate available. He can fly in, but Iwandi shows Light is now mid as well. Dagda, this could be the setup for the Dragon. Even though Herald's up in 30 seconds, all teams converging to try and push out and look at this objective.
Right now, though, I'd give the edge to FPX, right? You've still got a massive TP play that can come through from Nuggery with that Slicing Maelstrom. You've got better resets coming through on the side of DOINB because he's already got that pickaxe, those Merc Threads. He's in a really nice spot. Diana hitting that level 6 as well gives a huge amount of leeway, and having that flash just about to come available. I think you got to back off as LNG. Just give this one across to FPX and hit your first items before you start to contest these objectives.
Because let's reiterate as well, when now that Herald's up and available and you have options, for LNG already falling behind could be devastating. It's towards the top side. It looks like it's time for another play. Nuggery versus Ale in the Renekton. Slicing Maelstrom is available. It'll stun Ale, but Ale in a great position. He flashes himself, but Nuggery gets the stun back, looking for a Q. He just needs the shuriken, but Ale's already out of there. A close border call with FPX moving up and Chris blocking, keeping LNG at arm's length. FPX can turn on this. They have an Aurelia. They have an ultimate from the Diner that catches two. The fish are in as well. DOINB with a great Vanguard's edge. FPX flashing away, building space. DOINB again, trying to carry as his jungler goes down onto Iwandi. He's just picked up a double kill. Will he die in the end? Of course. because Tarzan's bringing it back for LNG.
And just about Tarzan's able to take down DOINB. Nuguri TP's in, but he's nothing left in the tank. Now Tarzan, he's looking for Nuguri.
He became an Aurelia for this exact moment. Nuguri trying to run away, gets the stun down with Surcharge, and Tarzan with a couple more autos will get stunned himself. But Nuguri survives. Tarzan, however, the key member we talk about for LNG, just brought this game one way back.
And the train was starting to chug out of the station for FPX. And as you said, Tarzan, he's just turned it off. He sent it back. And that's so crucial. The tempo was starting to rise in favor of FPX. But getting those 3 kills, you've now got a Divine Sunder completed for this Viego. He can now have far more influence on the map, especially towards these objectives. And we're going to get a look at this replay here. Everyone in FPX is focused on towards the low health Croc. So you get LNG right to first deal with Crisp. Now you do get DOINB who gets this great play on towards Icon, but this whole time Ale is staying here. He's going to be able to zone off Nuguri and just allow the fact that Iwandi and Tarzan are just bigger and better champions right now than just the Aurelia on our loans.
I was just looking at DOINB in that fight, Dagda. I thought, nah, LNG, they're going to start running, but Tarzan changes my mind, picks up Divine Sunder after as well. The first Mythic on Summoner's Rift belongs to LNG's jungle. And before you're talking about objectives being firmly in favor of FPX, but Gold's dead even, and Tarzan is here with the rest of LNG coming up.
You need to find these big ultimate engages, but LNG, they're lacking them right now. FPX trying to burst it down before they arrive.
Icon jumping in, Nuguri playing zone control as well. Tarzan going invisible for the time being with the eye exposed. Jen looking for the smite steal, he'll get it, but for FPX, the fight getting sent off with the Flawless Duet in the side. Iwandi caught out though with the Moonlight Vigil. It all comes in for the Wombo. You move into a choke versus FPX. What do you expect? Ale running away, but Gravitum activation almost nearby as Icon forces the flash out of Chris with the Flawless Duet. The flash out for the Vanguard's edge. DOINB is a menace once again.
Welcome to playoffs, our summer split MVP. This is the reason this guy has been absolutely insane, going nuts on the Aurelia. And that objective control from FPX is exactly what I expect to happen throughout this game. When we launch into a replay, I want you to keep your eye on how much respect has to be given towards Nuguri. The entire time he's sitting there, tempting, goading LNG into these fights with the ultimate, but never giving them an inch. And it just means that you've got to try and play so safe as LNG. You can't follow up on these engages. Now, though, we're still looking at Dragon, and maybe FPX starting to push in and seeing if they can contest this next one.
They've still got Slicing Maelstrom on Nuguri, but he's in the top lane. Ali has TP of his own, and Dagda, I think important to note Summoners here. DOINB in the mid lane right now, but has TP, while FPX walking into a trap. Here we go again. More fighting in our first playoff game of the night, as Chris was just taken down by Icon. Nice little setup from LNG that may just secure this first drag.
And as you said, knowing they've got the backup of Ale, knowing that they're going to have numbers advantage on this bottom side, so they go for the play. And now Rift Tower dropped mid by DOINB, giving more gold over towards this Aurelia. I am terrified of this Aurelia when we get to team fights. Between the turret plates and all the kills, like, this Aurelia's gonna be huge. Oh.
Good exhaust though coming through. Now LWX joins the mix though, and he is completely unexhausted. A light with the chat across the hour in about 5 seconds if the play continues to active. But dude, good luck in this series. We've got 14 kills. It's 12.5 minutes in. FPX might have a gold lead, but this game is going to go on for a much, much longer, and there's going to be much, much more blood.
Crisp might be the first blood.
You can play by play if you want, Dagda. I mean, Tarzan's covered in. Crisp as well on the retreat path. LWX setting himself up with shurikens, and you might have to at this point.
Honestly, I'm just going to go get the hot chocolate. I'm going to go get a, maybe a little bit of popcorn for myself. Something I'm going to put the feet up and just relax because I'm enjoying this. I'm getting an easy ride through this series right now. But I do think it's going to change up a lot of what we're having right now because we talked about Nuguri kind of trying to play this like defensive style, and we saw it a little bit at that Rift Herald fight. I think now instead of having to sit on LWX and giving space towards this Aphelios, honestly, I think he just acts as a dive buddy alongside DOINB. If Nuguri and DOINB go hand in hand in these fights, that CC chain sets up easy for Nuguri on these resets. He's going to be able to tear through people with these auto attacks. You've now got a far more aggressive style that FPX can play, and one that's going to be a little bit more detrimental to LNG.
because you already talked about what happens in the late game, right? As Arle's going all in, but the Slicing Maelstrom is going to give Tien time to come on in with the Moonfall. One more Shuriken can get the stun, and Nuguri's almost done all the work himself. Tien comes in, Crescent Strike with an auto, and Nuguri gets the helping hand to get yet another kill for FPX.
Ally has the double dash, but FPX have the double flash, managing to pick him off underneath the turret. And now, mid lane turret going to fall. Maybe not right now, but very close to doing so. Nuguri getting control of this top side. And this is what we were saying about FPX. They are so quick at taking structures, creating chaos on the map. And now, keep your eyes as to how they start to rotate around, because you're going to start to see DOINB heading to a side lane, Nuguri heading to a side lane once these initial towers go down. They'll push and they'll start to group, get vision control in the enemy jungle, look for dives into this mid lane, look to outnumber you in skirmishes every step of the way.
Because Dagda, I was trying to say it before we saw the fight in the top lane. You did talk to me about how FPX function towards the late game, how they function in these 5-on-5 team fights. This is a composition that we expected to just play it, run it along, maybe go even, get through the laning phase and see how they go there. But FPX stuck to their guns, stuck to what we talked about, and brought tempo from early on. Confident that they can take the challenge like this. Icon with the flawless duet landing upon the Vanguard. Edge available. Once more, running away from the chains. Tarzan coming in, but Iwandi as well. Run away from DOINB. Why are you near this person with lots of fancy swords? FPX with another. It goes to DOINB, who is 7-1-2. LNG, stop fighting him.
Yeah, I mean, being in the general vicinity of DOINB is dangerous to your health right now. And you can see it just there. Mid lane turret follows alongside Iwandi, and Crisp, he knows he's got backup, so he's going to play it a little bit more aggressive.
Okay, Dominic's used in the top lane. The action just doesn't stop. Nuguri with the Slicing Maelstrom about 5 seconds. He's trying to buy time with the Hextech Protobelt used to give distance. Wait for it. The ulti's still there. But Ale holding his space, holding his ground. 16 kills, 16 minutes. Dagda, what would you like to talk about next? Because Dragon's a while away. Herald's coming up soon. you got about
I'm glad that
seconds.
I got a minute. Yeah, I got a minute. I think the big thing is kind of looking towards these next couple of dragons, especially because Cloud Dragon's out of the way. Suddenly the value of the soul goes up. So certainly looking to try and play towards this is going to be super important of FPX. Use the fact that you've got this teleport advantage as well for Nuguri.
Good aggression here from LNG in the meantime, though, but red buff's just taken. Tarzan's still the enemy jungle, but pings are coming down. Crisp is chasing. And the Blast Cone going to give a nice exit for Iwandi to play through. I want to talk about first items here, Dagda, just while we have another moment as well. We have LNG starting to pick up their items. Tarzan was already there, of course, as he picked up 3 kills and an extra in the preceding fights. But DOINB has 2. There's a Sterix Gauge versus no Mythic for Icon as of yet.
I was laughing. You were like, yeah, first items. I'm like, he has 2. There is no first item. We're already on the second item for DOINB. Yeah. But LNG, got to see if they can get the pick here onto the Braum.
Oh, it's Crisp. He's going deep, but who's behind him? It's LWX. DOINB's far away, but Tien is not. Icon just backs away immediately, and this is the problem. FPX is staying grouped.
Yeah, and honestly, I think right now, FPX, you can see they're just looking for a big control over these objectives, and this is what we talked about. They get that Rift Heralds right now off the pressure that they know they have alongside DOINB being in this mid lane, and now you start to having so much threat onto these tier 2s. You already have all the outer ones down. Let's just opt into, oh, well, almost the top one's still there, but let's just put DOINB in that top side. Let's start to push in these lanes, take that top turret, and look to get more control over our opponent's jungle.
Easy done right at this point for FPX, just maintaining the pace they're going with a 4k gold lead with another Herald that can open up potential of those side lanes as well, Dagda, and give a pretty nice game state for FPX. So where do we go from here? Dragon's up in a minute, and that just feels like FPX, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing here is just use DOINB. Like 2.5 items, and you've only just got 1 item complete on every other solo laner in LNG. He's gonna kill them. Like, you can see, this is a 2-man team, and DOINB's like, come at me, bro.
He's forcing them off. Crisp and LWX on the way, though, and this makes it a little bit more unfair. The Glacial Fish is going to slow them down. The Winter's Bite to zone. Iwandi about to get stunned up, but LWX not with the full commit. It's just about the turret. The Herald finally comes down, and all outers for FPX are going to be down pre-20.
Yeah, and now, like, how do you try and defend these objectives, right? You're going to look at the vision control that's just been set up on that top side. You're just going to move that bot, and this is why it's obnoxious to play against FPX. It feels like you're always losing out. They shove inside lanes. Well, we got to deal with that, but now they're at Dragon. Now they're in our jungle. They're taking everything on the map, and you just don't get to stop them.
Really don't. DOINB walking up to the turret with Herald helping out as well. Facebreaker, great, but this guy is such a big bruiser at the moment, it doesn't matter. At least LNG are getting resources on the other side of the map here, Dagda. At least they're trying to find something. And it is on the Dragon side, so take that as you will. As Nuguri returns to the lane too.
But it's about tempo, right? Now you get the resets coming through from FPX. LNG are still on this top side. Great.
True.
FPX get this load of items into their back pocket because they just got a bunch of gold. They run straight towards Dragon, whereas LNG are behind on where they are in the map. They haven't resets, so they're behind on items, so you cannot contest this next Dragon. And again, FPX just starting to peel more and more towards their own style. Well, LNG will try and trade this top tower as DOINB starts to move up, maybe looking for a bit more with Chris here as well.
Yeah, with Chris always by the play. I mean, Tien quickly behind him. FPX putting pings down. There's the TP. And it's Nuguri joining in. Ready for a slicing maelstrom. He has flash too. Onto Iwandy and Light. Oh no, Iwandy, that ulti secures Light's death. Maybe not. He's running for his life, and Iwandy ends up being the sacrificial lamb. While the mid lane, LWX wasn't part of the play. Actually, Light dies in the end, but LWX flashes away. The Heartbreaker taken. The ulti as well. Somehow doing half the HP to Tarzan and Icon. Not a worthy trade, though.
LWX just not playing it safe. You've got everyone else at FPX committing to that top side, and he's overextended in mid, especially against the LeBlanc. It's going to be so easy to pick off this Viego. So LWX goes down, and now Tarzan, looking at DOINB still on the top side, looking at the resets coming through from FPX. He's actually going to start up this Dragon.
Things are coming through. Tien just looks like he doesn't care. Says forget it. I guess, Dagda, because Dragons are so late this game, as FPX you think, oh, we'll get the third, the fourth, and whichever ones we want anyway.
I mean, honestly, they could just be like, look, you're not going to get a soul at this stage. We're already sitting 4,000 gold ahead of you. We have full control over things like the Baron. We have an 8-kill Irelia who's just building armor because she's like, hell, I mean, who else is going to try and kill me right now? So this is just not a huge amount you can do right now as LNG. You will get some of these early objectives, but when you can see FPX, right, going for these plays, finding these uneven fights that we were talking about, it makes it so hard for LNG to have any sort of map pressure.
This DOINB comes in with the Vanguard's edge. We're about to watch how Light dies in this one, Dagda. Tien in the end, yeah, just closes the gap. And ultis for it as well. So Light ends up dying. I was just so sus on Iwandy for that ulti, Dagda. How could you not be? You're like, get them away from me. Don't bring him in.
That is definitely, I've done a couple of them by accident, and it's definitely a couple of those question marks being thrown around after that one.
You get blamed. You get blamed for it by AD, there's no doubt.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit. But look, at the end of the day, you've still got to try and find ways to be active here as Iwandy. Unfortunately, sitting at 0 and 6, it hasn't been the best of games for him. But I think this is kind of a flash in the pan. I think Iwandy's been pretty exceptional for LNG. It's just that... Oh, hang on.
Okay, well, Nuguri with an ultimate once again. The Heartbreaker to get out of there. And they don't even fully commit. It's just about taking more jungle camps away in front of a Baron. I mean, it's 22 minutes, Dagda, and it's starting with Ale on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the control when it comes towards vision, right? You've got to try and push in here blind against a Kennen, against that Irelia. You do not want to be here as LNG, as the Baron at half health.
And they're taking no damage from it as well. They force the TP and 5 members of LNG in. You're right, Dagda. Look at the little man with electricity as Tien is dead. Okie dokie for FPX, not the great way to start the fight as Ale's all in on top of Nuguri, and FPX are disengaging to find an angle themselves. Icon back over the wall. And I didn't want to say it felt like RNG for a moment, but FPX need to be careful where they go.
I mean, we're on the same wavelength here. I was like, look, LNG picked off a couple of those wins at Baron against RNG. Don't do the same FPX, but now DOINB's in the mix.
Oh, that's a two-man flawless duet. He has the Vanguard's edge against the corner. Maybe it's not like RNG because Iwandy, even though he's buying time, sends DOINB up forward. And Channeler's arrow is blocked with the Sterak's Gauge shield. And Nuguri still off the wing. The flawless duet once again takes down Tarzan because DOINB is literally tankier than a Mundo. At this point, FPX can do no wrong, do no harm, except if it includes LNG. Onto Light again. They're free-firing, free-hitting. It doesn't matter how much they miss either. The Phoenix rises once more.
You gotta die to be reborn, and Tien goes down so FPX can move over towards this Baron once more, and they'll be able to get it. I mean, you've got only Iwandy and Ale up and available at the moment. They're not even going to try and contest. And now, when you've already gotten the top inner turret. You're looking at 2 inner turrets on the mid and bot side. It feels like they're not left standing for very long with this push that can come through from FPX.
Dagda, gold lead moves to 7,000 as well. You know, you talk about the push coming through. This is going to be a delight for the red team because in game 1, they hold the cards to bring open the series. Tell LNG fans it will not happen again. And it started around the Baron where Tien actually just got bursted by Icon. Nice job.
Yeah, really nice job from Icon to managing to get that pick. You are going to actually get a pro view here of DOINB though, and this is where it all starts to fall apart. That double flawless duet just is so obnoxious. There's no real way that you're going to be able to move away from that. And DOINB, he's just chasing them down. Like, waiting, just buying time. Sterix gets popped, wait for the Gore Drinker, cool, go in again, and then take a step back. Wait for this Gore Drinker to come through once more. Find those stragglers. Like, he's playing so well around his cooldowns here.
Dagda, doesn't matter, it wasn't a dual beat play. While he was going in, he didn't spam his timers. As 1v2 in the bottom lane. True. Now this is another one. Level 15 Aurelia has just caught it down Arley. Under the turret, he doesn't care. Nice flawless Shuet. And he's called Super Carry for a reason, guys. He is absolutely mid-gapping, team-gapping LNG in the start of this series.
And he's building a Gargoyle Stone Plate. Like, he's just going to be unkillable.
And in once again, Tien following up. Look at the all-in. Nice little face breaker from Iwandy, but look who's still nice and healthy. Light not having a great time with him darting all over the place. Kill number 10. And FPX in 25 minutes. They show us what the word favorites truly mean as they head towards the Nexus. The first seed for the regular season of spring. Say ha to a fat old miracle run.
Yeah, I mean, a dark horse can still be outrun, and you just outpace them all over the map, FPX. Like, early roams coming through from Chris to help set up DOINB. DOINB is beyond fed. We need a new term for what DOINB was in this game, and from that, they're just playing off of objectives towards